Good evening. This is All India Radio and I'm Paul Thottam with the news at 9. The headlines. India rejects resolution adopted by Pakistan's National Assembly on Citizenship Amendment Act. Says it is entirely an internal affair of New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi accuses Congress and left parties of spreading confusion and violence over the Citizenship Amendment Act. Opposition parties urge President Ram Nath Kovind to advise central government to withdraw the act. Home Minister Amit Shah asserts NDA government will ensure citizenship to refugees from persecuted religious minorities. President says universities should become laboratories of exposing students to the problems that need to be addressed for nation building. And in cricket, second ODI of the three-match series between India and West Indies to be played in Visakhapatnam tomorrow. India today rejected the resolution adopted by Pakistan's National Assembly on the Citizenship Amendment Act, saying it is entirely an internal affair of New Delhi. In a statement, External Affairs Ministry said the resolution intentionally mischaracterizes the objectives of the Act, which gives citizenship to persecuted religious minorities from selected countries. The ministry asserted that the Act does not take away the citizenship of any Indian irrespective of their faith. It said the resolution is a poorly disguised effort to divert attention from Pakistan's appalling treatment and persecution of its own religious minorities. The demographics of these minorities, whether Hindu, Christian, Sikh or other faiths in Pakistan, speak for themselves. The MEA said it is laughable that the National Assembly of Pakistan, that has itself passed a discriminatory legislation against religious minorities, should point fingers at others. New Delhi called upon Islamabad to engage in serious self-introspection rather than to falsely accuse others of what they themselves are guilty of. The ministry said it is a thinly veiled attempt by Pakistan to further its false narrative on the issue of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. It seeks to provide justification for Pakistan's unrelenting support for cross-border terrorist activities in India. But New Delhi is confident that such attempts will fail. Campaigning has reached its peak for the fifth and final phase of assembly elections in Jharkhand. 16 constituencies of Santhal Pargana will go to polls in this phase on Friday. Addressing an election rally at Barhet in Sahibganj district in Jharkhand today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said Congress and its allies as well as the left parties are spreading confusion and violence over the Citizenship Amendment Act. Mr. Modi said these parties are creating fear among the Muslims in the name of this act. The Prime Minister reiterated that the Citizenship Amendment Act does not affect any Indian citizen of any religion and no Indian should worry about it.
कांग्रेस और उसके जैसे दलों और उसके वामपंथी इकोसिस्टम ने पूरी ताकत झोंक दी है भारत के मुसलमानों को डराने के लिए। ये लोग देश में झूठ और भ्रम का माहौल बना रहे हैं कि नागरिकता संशोधन कानून से भारत के एक भी नागरिक को, चाहे वो हिंदू हो, मुसलमान हो, ईसाई हो या पारसी हो, किसी की भी नागरिकता पर कोई असर नहीं होगा.
Mr. Modi appealed to the youth in colleges to debate the government's policies and protest democratically. Attacking JMM Congress and RJD alliance in Jharkhand, the Prime Minister said these parties had spread fear and violence at the time of formation of the state. Addressing an election meeting in Pakur, JMM President Shibu Soren says the purpose of creating of Jharkhand has not been fulfilled. Jharkhand in charge of the Congress, RPN Singh, alleged that women and farmers are not protected in the state and the people have migrated to other places due to unemployment. Criticizing the BJP, AJSU chief Sudesh Kumar Mahato promised that if his party is voted to power, the government will go to the doorstep of the rural people, the poor, Dalits and farmers for their development. On the other hand, Jharkhand Vikas Morcha President Babulal Marandi said change of government is mandatory for overall development of the state. Leaders of the left parties and RJD's Tejasvi Prasad Yadav also addressed rallies to woo voters in favour of their party candidates. Leaders of 12 opposition parties met President Ram Nath Kovind at Rashtrapati Bhavan today and urged him to advise the central government to withdraw the Citizenship Amendment Act. A delegation of these parties, led by Congress President Sonia Gandhi, submitted a memorandum to Mr. Kovind in this regard. Talking to reporters after the meeting, Mrs. Gandhi said the situation is very serious and the way the police dealt with peaceful protests in Jamia Millia Islamia is anguishing. She also accused the centre of muzzling the voices of the people. CPIM General Secretary Sitaram Yechuri, Derek O'Brien of the TMC, Ram Gopal Yadav of Samajwadi Party, T.R. Balu from DMK, RJD's Manoj Jha and CPI General Secretary D. Raja were among those part of the delegation. Home Minister Amit Shah today ruled out withdrawal of the Citizenship Amendment Act amidst opposition by various political parties and groups. In an interview to a private TV channel, Mr. Shah said there is no possibility of rolling the legislation back. He reiterated that there will not be any injustice to any citizen of India. The Home Minister accused the opposition parties, including the Congress, of misleading students over the issue. Earlier, addressing a function in New Delhi, the Home Minister asserted that those who are against the Citizenship Amendment Act may oppose it as much as possible, but Narendra Modi government is committed to giving citizenship and a dignified life to refugees persecuted for the last 70 years.
मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि आपको जो राजनीतिक विरोध करना है वो करो। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की मोदी सरकार फर्म है। इस सभी शरणार्थियों को नागरिकता मिलेगी, वो भारत के नागरिक बनेंगे और सम्मान के साथ दुनिया के अंदर।
Commenting on the ongoing protests against the act, the minister said the legislation is meant to enable and empower stateless refugees. He was speaking after laying the foundation stone for development of Bharat Vandana Park at Dwarka in New Delhi. He also mentioned that giving citizenship to refugees was part of the Nehru Liaquat Pact, which is being implemented after 70 years under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. Our correspondent reports that once constructed, the Bharat Vandana Park would be a major tourist attraction. The park will be developed over an area of 200 acres at a cost of 550 crore rupees. Delhi Police Commissioner Amulya Patnaik met Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla in New Delhi today. During the meeting, Mr. Bhalla took stock of the law and order situation in the national capital. The situation in the Seelampur area of the national capital, where a violent protest erupted this afternoon against the Citizenship Amendment Act, is under control. Delhi police today arrested 10 people for violence during the protest outside Jamia Millia Islamia last Sunday. All the arrested have criminal background and none of them are students. Meanwhile, Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal has appealed to the people to maintain peace and not get involved in any kind of violence. The Supreme Court today said high courts should be approached first on pleas alleging police atrocities on persons protesting against the amended Citizenship Act. The court also asked as to how buses were burned during the protest. A bench headed by Chief Justice S.A. Bobde commenced hearing on pleas including that of the Alumni Association Jamia Millia Islamia University. The bench said they don't want to spend time knowing facts and the petitioners should go to courts below first. In Assam, curfew has been lifted in Guwahati following further improvement in law and order situation. Authorities have also lifted day curfew from Dibrugarh. Restriction on broadband services has been lifted. However, suspension of mobile internet will remain in place till 9 a.m. tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Assam government has handed over a case of violence to the NIA registered at Chandmari police station in Guwahati, while a SIT has also been set up to investigate the acts of violence during the recent protests. In Meghalaya, life is limping back to normal as people in the capital city Shillong were seen going to churches as they resumed their daily activities amidst the winter chill. Curfew in the state was relaxed during the day. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. President Ram Nath Kovind has said that universities should become laboratories for exposing students to the problems that need to be addressed in the case of nation building. He was addressing a conference of Vice-Chancellors of Central Universities at Rashtrapati Bhavan today.
It is knowledge that will allow us to find solutions to the problems we face in our world, nation and the society. Research and innovation hold the key to lifting our people out of poverty, ensuring their health and well-being, or attaining food and energy security.
The President stressed that the objective of these universities should be to constantly grow and upgrade themselves to be the best of global standards. Mr. Kovind said, beyond classrooms and labs, students should be encouraged to take up socially oriented ventures through National Service Scheme or other clubs. Communications and IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad today launched the National Broadband Mission to provide affordable and universal access of broadband to all. The aim is to provide broadband to all villages by 2022. Speaking on the occasion, the minister said there is a need to understand the larger narrative of the broadband mission, which is to propel India and push the economy to a $5 trillion economy. He said it is imperative for National Broadband Mission to be a huge success in villages, as it will have a transformative impact and give rise to new aspirations. He said Digital India is creating an enabling atmosphere.
ये जो डिजिटल इकोसिस्टम में जो क्यूरियोसिटी बढ़ रही है, बहुत बड़ी बात है. मैं यही क्यूरियोसिटी को और गांव में लाना चाहता हूं. इसलिए ब्रॉडबैंड मिशन को गांव में सफल होना है. तो आज के जमाने में व्हाट प्रोग्राम्स लाइक डिजिटल इंडिया आर डूइंग इज enabling people to get empowered.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman held her fourth pre-budget consultations with different stakeholder groups from agriculture and agro-processing sectors in New Delhi today. The main areas of discussion included agricultural marketing reforms, organic and natural farming, storage infrastructure for agricultural produce, animal agro-processing industry, and ideas for reducing food subsidy, among others. During the meeting, representatives of the concerned sectors submitted various suggestions for boosting investment in the agriculture sector and enhancing market access to farmers. Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Minister Nitin Gadkari today kicked off the sale of Khadi Rumal made by women from terrorism-affected families of Jammu and Kashmir. Speaking at the launch function in New Delhi, he said the initiative of Khadi Village Industries Commission, KVIC, is the true reflection of Mahatma Gandhi's vision of empowering the weakest of the society. He called upon the people to support this unique initiative, which is creating jobs for the needy. And in sports news, in cricket, the second ODI of the three-match series between India and the West Indies will be played in Visakhapatnam tomorrow. The match will start at 1:30 p.m. All India Radio will broadcast live commentary of the match alternately in Hindi and English. It can be heard on Rajdhani, FM Rainbow and additional frequencies from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. or till the end of the match. The Caribbeans have taken a 1-0 lead after winning the first ODI in Chennai. India has booked a place in the final of the three-nation under-17 football tournament in Mumbai. India edged out Thailand 1-0 in the last round robin game today. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India rejects resolution adopted by Pakistan's National Assembly on Citizenship Amendment Act, says it is entirely an internal affair of New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi accuses Congress and left parties of spreading confusion and violence over the Citizenship Amendment Act. Opposition parties urges President Ram Nath Kovind to advise central government to withdraw the act. Home Minister Amit Shah asserts NDAgovt will ensure citizenship to refugees from persecuted religious minorities. President says universities should become laboratories of exposing students to the problems that need to be addressed for nation building. And in cricket, second ODI of three-match series between India and West Indies to be played in Visakhapatnam tomorrow. And that is all in the news at 9. Good night.